Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dissect a really powerful and kind of dark piece of mythology to understand how a sacred space can be twisted into a weapon. We're going to explore step by step the anatomy of corruption and see how a place of guidance becomes a tool for pure malice.
So let's just dive right in. Our whole story kicks off at a crossroads. But look, this is not just any old intersection. The source text describes it as the stitches holding the shroud of reality together. I mean, what a line, right? It's telling us this is a weak point, a place just pulsing with immense, raw power.
Yeah, we're not just talking about where two paths happen to meet. Beneath the surface, you've got these ancient energies, ley lines, and they are thrumming with so much power that the veil between worlds here is paper thin. It's a place that literally vibrates with the echoes of every single choice, every desperate bargain that's ever been made right on that spot. And of course, our main antagonist, the Prince of Lies, he feels this. He can sense those ley lines just humming with energy. You have to realize, he didn't just stumble upon this spot by chance. Oh no, he chose it. He specifically selected a place that's already a superhighway for these massive ancient forces.
So what's the first thing he does? It's an act of pure, calculated desecration. He spits right on the center point. It's this incredibly symbolic gesture, designed to completely invert the purpose of the crossroads. It's no longer a place to find your way. It is now a trap, specifically designed to make you lose it.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The prince doesn't just put some generic curse on the place. No, he's far more methodical than that. He performs this precise, dark ritual, a 4-point corruption, almost like he's weaving this tapestry of absolute despair. He starts with the north, which is, the traditional seat of darkness. And he doesn't just make it cold, he weaponizes the frost itself, summoning a chill that is both physical and spiritual, aimed squarely at anyone who's already feeling a little bit lost.
Then, he turns to the south, and from there he plucks these destructive passions. He takes the very idea of warmth and just twists it into the searing hate of a fever, of nightmares, of this corrupting, unrepentant lust. You see the pattern here? Every element he summons is a complete perversion of what it's supposed to be. To the east, the direction of the sunrise. He attacks the very concept of hope. Can you believe that? He summons this thick, supernatural fog with one single malevolent purpose: to choke the coming dawn, to make sure a new day can never, ever arrive here.
And finally, to complete the circle, the west. From this direction, he lets out this hollow whistle and he summons the nameless, restless dead. He's now populated this corrupted space with the echoes of despair, making sure that anyone who enters will be haunted by the ghosts of those who were forgotten.
And this just illustrates how methodical his evil is. It's a deliberate, 4-step ritual. Each step builds on the last, weaving these 4 threads of corruption together to transform the crossroads into what the source calls an embassy of the abyss. Just chilling stuff.
Okay, so the trap is set. The spiritual poison is just bubbling away. Now let's see how this newly corrupted territory gets put to the test. All that's needed now is for a victim to spring it.
But the prince isn't alone. A spectral guardian materializes. A phantom hound, black as soot from Gehenna, which in folklore is a cursed valley of fire and torment. This beast is the manifestation of the grim, and its very presence reinforces the corruption. I mean, its paws literally turn living grass into ash, physically marking the land as dead. And the appearance of this creature is so significant. In folklore, the Grim is a guardian of the boundary between worlds. Its presence here basically confirms that the Crossroads is no longer just a place in our world. It's now a functioning gateway between life and the abyss.
And right on cue, a weary traveler arrives. Now, the source is really clear here. He doesn't see the prince or his hound, but he feels the chilling effect of their ritual. He feels that spiritual void, that sudden unnatural drop in temperature, and his own heavy conscience suddenly becomes his greatest vulnerability.
So, this is the crucial moment. This is the whole ballgame. The battle isn't fought with swords, it's fought entirely inside the traveler's own mind. He's faced with a choice: the hard path that leads to safety, or the path that, well, it looks easier, but it leads to certain ruin. And the prince's weapon here, it's not force, it's insidious influence. He whispers a single word of doubt into the wind, and that is all it takes to shatter the man's resolve. The traveler chooses the path into the deep woods, It's a victory of silence, a conquest achieved with just one single corrupting suggestion.
Now, this quiet, insidious conquest, it isn't just about one lost soul. This marks a fundamental, permanent change in the very nature of the Crossroads itself. This victory has solidified the prince's claim on this little piece of reality.
The power of that single victory is so profound that the source says the very geography of the area begins to twist and realign itself, conforming to the prince's ancient, bitter whims. The spiritual infection has taken root, and now it's spreading like a cancer on the land.
And to finalize his work, he performs one last, damning act. He draws a circle in the dirt with his staff, sealing the intersection from any positive influence, from any passing breath of grace. He's just transformed the space from a temporary embassy into a permanent fortress of malice. He's no longer just a visitor, he is the master.
And with his dark work complete, the prince simply moves on. He starts walking toward the distant, unsuspecting village lights, leaving behind him a permanent, unhealable wound on the spiritual landscape.
So the key takeaway here is that the corruption is now self-sustaining. The Crossroads has become a permanent trap, just waiting patiently for the next lost soul to wander into its influence. The story isn't over. In fact, it's the beginning of a much larger, darker journey into the heart of the sleeping world.
And all of this leaves us with a final, pretty unsettling thought. This whole process was a masterclass in subtle manipulation, of a place, of perception, of will. It makes you wonder, when the very tools we use for navigation are corrupted, not just our maps, but our own convictions, how do we ever find our way back to true north?